Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons & Dragons. And welcome back to the channel that takes power gaming to the next level. Today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we are talking about the spell Incendiary Cloud. I am giving this spell an A. I really like the spell, and it hits a lot of the points that I have been making on this channel for quite some time since we started doing this. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I've got another video out. All right, so Incendiary Cloud is an 8th level spell. That is a 1-action casting time. It's usable by sorcerers and wizards. It's a range of 120 feet, and it spreads out in a 20-foot radius. We like that. Verbal and somatic components. It lasts for a minute, and it requires concentration. You do want to concentrate on this spell. So, a swirling cloud of smoke shot through with white-hot embers appears in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point within range. The cloud spreads around corners and is heavily obscured. It lasts for the duration or until a wind of moderate or greater speed, at least 10 miles per hour, disperses it. So that's kind of the instant dispel. When the cloud appears, each creature in it must make a dex saving throw. A creature takes 10d8 fire damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. A creature must also make this saving throw when it enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn. I love that phrase. Or ends its turn there. So it's going to force creatures to move. The cloud moves 10 feet directly away from you in a direction that you can choose at the start of each of your turns. My suggestion when casting this spell is to move. Cast it and then move so that you can kind of direct where the cloud is going. Because if you stay in one place, it's going to keep moving away. You can choose the direction, so it can go straight or it can go diagonal, but it's pretty much going to go in a 90-degree arc away from you, except if you start moving, and then you can start moving that 90-degree arc and then moving back and so forth, so that you can get it to go the way you want it to go. Now, what are some pros and cons for this spell? It's an excellent range. 150 feet is a great range. It is a 20-foot spread, and the spread is around corners. That's good. A pro also is that it's heavily obscured, but a con is that it is heavily obscured. So creatures in it can't see, but you also can't see them. So there are good points about that and bad points about that. 45 average damage when it goes off, and whenever they enter it for the first time on a turn, or when they end it. So you could blast somebody into it, and if they are going to take that damage when they go in, and if they end up staying there for some reason, and we're going to talk about that, then they're going to take it again. It's a dex save, and the reason I like a dex save for this one is that it is subject to, there's two different conditions that will cause, well, there's basically 3 different conditions, but 2 of them are essentially the same. The conditions modify dex saving throws. Restrain, and we're going to talk about things that can restrain spells. Stunning or paralysis. Stunning and paralysis cause an immediate failure of a dex saving throw, so they're going to take that damage no matter what. And then, of course, we love when it appears and when entering the spell's area for the first time on a turn. So let your allies know that you've got this spell so they can start prepping their forced movement spells or controlled movement abilities so they can push things back in when they come out. Because if they end their turn in this, they're taking more damage. So it doesn't get good. So they can run out and then something can push them right back in on the next turn or a subsequent turn, and they take the damage again. But they have to end its turn in there, not end a turn, but end its turn. So some cons for this spell: it does move, so you have to be aware of controlling it. A gust of wind or similar type of effect will take it out, and you have to end your turn in it. That is kind of a con. And then we also mentioned the obscuring, the heavily obscuring. Okay. let's talk about some things that we can use to restrain. Here are all the spells that can be used to restrain. Now, some of these might take some damage, but for instance, Entangle is there, your DM could say, these are plants. They're going to get burnt away. Maximilian's Earthen Grasp is another one. And again, this one's made out of dirt, so it's really not going to, it doesn't take any damage. You can't destroy it. So that's something that could be holding someone, and then you cast Incendiary Cloud, and they're just done. Web, however, probably will be go away. Black Tentacles are essentially indestructible. So you could have somebody cast Black Tentacles, grabbing something, restraining it, and restraining it gives disadvantage on dexterity saving throws, which is what Incendiary Cloud is. Now, I want you to notice Incendiary Cloud is a conjuration spell, so evocation wizards can't do their thing with it. Some other ones, Watery Sphere might not be the greatest thing in the world because it's water, but Transmute Rock, so you could do Mud to Rock, restraining things. There's Wrath of Nature, which does roots and vines. Now, those could get burned away. Bones of the Earth could trap something. Flesh to Stone, so that restrains on a failed save. And they're pretty much stuck. If they're restrained, they're stuck. They're going to be taking damage at the end of the turn. And then there's a Whirlwind. I don't know. That's windy, so that probably would disperse the spell. Now, spells that paralyze, of course, we've gone over almost all of these. Hold Person paralyzes, and paralysis, if you have that condition, you fail strength and dexterity saving throws automatically. And, of course, there's Hold Monster, which you can use on anything. So those are two great spells to pull out from your allies, and then you can drop this down and really go after them. Now, one of the problems with this is this fire damage stuff. And there's a few things we can do to either augment that or change it. So one of the things we could do to augment that is if you're an elemental adept, spells you cast ignore resistance to damage of a chosen type. Could be fire. In addition, when you roll damage for a spell you cast that deals damage of that type, you treat anyone as a 2. Okay? So you could be a fire elemental adept. The other thing that you could be is you could be a sorcerer, because this is a sorcerer spell. And you could be taking the transmuted spell. When you cast a spell that deals a type of damage from the following list, you can spend 1 sorcery point to change that damage to one of the other types. So instead of an Incendiary Cloud, I could have an Acid Cloud, or I could have a Freezing Cloud, or I could have a Lightning Cloud, or a Poison Cloud, or a Thunder Cloud. So if I've got fire giants that are there and I want to get them in this, I don't want to use fire, so I could change it then. And that only costs 1 sorcery point. Now for the wizard, of course, I like the expert divination. I like the portent ability from the divination school, because you can make something fail a save. But it is only 1 save. I think the sorcerer is a better class for this spell because they can transmute it. Of course, bards eventually could take this spell at later levels with magical secrets, and warlocks could take this spell as well with Mystic Arcanum. So that is what I have for everybody today. I hope everybody enjoyed, and I will catch everybody later.